All right, this take comes in from George. I feel this is a fair question considering the lack of interest from outside schools for our defensive coordinator. Would you feel more happy or sad if a team came in and hired Tosh Lupoi from us? More happy or is it a cop-out to say I'd be in the middle? I think you can definitely do worse. Are there better schematic options out there? I think so. Are there better recruiting options out there? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. And college football, you hear this expression plenty, I'm sure. Is it about the Jimmies and the Joes or the X's and the O's? It turns out that when you want to go win a national championship, you've got to have both. Well, I know 100% I am Spencer scale of agreement 10 level of sure that Tosh Lupoi can get you the Jimmies and the Joes. We have 3 years and now a fourth going into the 2026 cycle. We've got a proven body of work here. Tosh Lupoi, after coming down from the NFL and spending a stint away from college, he was with the Jags and the Browns, I think. I know he's with the Jags. He has not lost his touch as a recruiter. He's always been a great recruiter. Coming into this year, at the end of the season, I could feel differently. But man, I think I'd feel neutral for 2 reasons. Number one, I do think you could find a better schematic defensive coordinator. The performance in big games has been lacking for the most part. Doesn't mean the defense hasn't gotten better. It has, which is why I'm not sitting here saying, oh, he should, Oregon should move on from him this year. Like, no, this isn't Alex Grinch down at USC with Lincoln Riley. This is not, a black spot on Dan Lanning's hiring resume or anything like that. So I would feel neutral because I'd want to see who they hire. And the other thing to consider is that a lot of people have recruited well to Oregon. Doesn't mean Tosh Lupoi isn't better at it than somebody who Dan Lanning would be able to find. Lanning's also made some great hires over the years. Adrian Clem to Alik Terry, incredible handoff for the offensive line. We'll see how Ross Douglas does as the wide receivers coach. I'm optimistic. Early returns on the recruiting trail, pretty darn good. He's picked up Jalen Lott in the class of 2026. He, of course, got Messiah Hampton, who he had a prior relationship with. There's still more time to evaluate. Like, we don't have that much information on him. But, Kenny Dillingham left. We know that Dillingham's really good. Every Oregon fan I run into loves him. I love Kenny Dillingham. I think most people really do. I know they love him in Tempe. To go from Dillingham to Will Stein, boy, that's a heck of a coordinator change. Because it'd be really easy to lose a guy like Dillingham and downgrade, but part of being a great head coach is being able to make the right hires. Good head coaches make bad hires all the time. Brian Kelly would probably tell you he hired the wrong staff or defensive coordinator. They got Blake Baker in there from Missouri, and I think they are better because of it down in Baton Rouge. But, you have to make those decisions as the head coach because ultimately it comes back to you. I don't think your athletic director is offering a whole heck of a lot of input. The AD's hiring the coach. The head coach hires everybody else. So I'd see the positive. I'd also be curious the context in which, Tosh is no longer Oregon's defensive coordinator. Did he leave or was he relieved of his duties? I don't think Dan Lanning would fire him. Could he leave? I mean, he's left places before. He's bounced around a bit. It's not the least likely thing that would ever happen. He and Dan have always seemed pretty tight. The other thing you have to consider, Tosh Lupoi's never really been a head coaching name that's been tossed out there for coordinators. That interest has to go 2 ways. There has to be interest from other schools. His recruiting prowess alone could get him a look. That's basically why Marcus Arroyo got hired to be UNLV's head coach. He's now the OC at Arizona State, and Dillingham's done quite the rehab project there on him as an offensive coordinator and play caller. But, he did call straight halfback dive on 4th and 1 against Texas in the Cotton Bowl or whatever their playoff game was, Peach Bowl. But, hey, that's just one play. So the interest goes both ways. Coaches draw interest because of their performance. Coaches' names also get out there because their agents want to. I don't know if Tosh Lupoi wants to be a head coach. Some guys don't. I know coaches at the collegiate ranks all over the place who I talk to and say, oh, would you ever want to do this? No, I don't want to be a head coach. Too much goes into it, too much politicking, too much non-sports stuff. Like some guys just want to be a coordinator. That might be Tosh. So I don't think the lack of buzz his name generates is purely one-sided, because a guy who recruits the way he does can typically draw at least some interest. But I don't think I would feel more happy or sad. I think I'd say, oh, okay, what's Dan going to do next? And I'd say, I'll wait and see, and we'll evaluate the hire at the time. But I wouldn't feel a sense of dread. I also wouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, finally they got rid of this guy. Like, nah, he does a lot of things really, really well. So just because he hasn't done everything well or everything the way we would want to this point doesn't mean he can't get better at that, and doesn't mean he isn't still good at a lot of things. So that's not an SSA. That's just a question, but yeah, down the middle. Scale of agreement. If the 2019 team played a style of offense that better utilized Herbert's arm and gets our wide receivers in space more often, we make the playoffs. Yes, but it doesn't matter because they run into LSU in all likelihood. So, I mean, it might have been exciting. Have a playoff game. But that LSU team was not going to lose. They were so good. So incredibly good. So now for my my scale of agreement on that. They make the playoffs. I mean, they just had to beat either Arizona State or Auburn, which they should have been able to do if they had a better schematic approach there. I mean, they still went 12-2, won the Pac-12. So like, let's not pretend like it was just coaching malpractice. There was just something left on the table, particularly with Herbert's stats. So I'll give that a 9. Yeah, I think a better OC. If Joe Moore had been hired in 2019, I think that Oregon team makes the playoffs. So let's get to what is actually my favorite part of the day. Trivia. A lot of you like this. I mean, a lot of you like this. This has taken off more than I ever thought it would. I get so many messages about this when I overlook a player or players, as I'll get to in a moment, from yesterday's show. I hear about it frequently. The trivia question for today is not exactly a trivia question, but more of a, I'm curious what you guys think. So yesterday I also never got an answer, and I couldn't find the answer when I was doing my own digging. So the person who sent me the question about which Ducks had the longest NFL career, let me know. I'm curious. My guess was Kellen Clemens. I don't know if that's right. But I was also asked about naming all the brother combinations I can for that have played with Oregon. I think I did well, all things considered. I wasn't going to let the segment go on for 7 minutes or anything like that. But I did have a sizable omission. I missed the Sewell brothers. That's a tough one to miss, no doubt. To me, that's canceled out by having the Rushing brothers in there. Like, that's a pretty solid pull. That Eliza Rushing and Cruz Rushing have both come through. Other ones I miss, Wilcox brothers from back in the day. I tell you, some of you remembered some specific ones. I believe both Paysingers, or two Paysingers, played for Oregon. But the other polls that were impressive I saw, the Winston brothers, Lamar and Amarian Winston, both came through the Oregon program. How about the Griffin brothers? Taj Griffin, I forgot the name of his brother. Taj Griffin was a big-time prospect and, didn't fully pan out, had explosive speed. Always thought he ran funny, but he was fast and effective. He was in the Vernon Adams era, was his best season. But his brother was on the team. I think he's a defensive back as well. But Justin Flo, actually, also had a brother, Jonathan, that came through the Oregon program at one point in time. So, yeah, I think I did fairly well. Did not get all of them though. So, just to be clear, Carpe Diem _98. This isn't specifically a trivia question because it's a matter of perspective. But he says, Spencer, trivia time. At this point in time, which Duck players who went on to have NFL careers would you rank as having the top 5 NFL careers of all time? Thanks for producing an entertaining show. Go Ducks. This one does not have a concrete answer. Again, there's subjectivity here. But I thought it was a fun question, so I threw it in. So, of course, I'm biased towards guys I've seen in my lifetime. And again, I'm answering this in real time, which is why I've had some notable misses over the last several days. In case you have any doubt that I'm taking this trivia question segment seriously and not looking up answers ahead of time, because I love trivia that much. So in my lifetime, Haloti Ngata's got to be up there. Like, I mean, he has to be very, very high on the list. Top 5 NFL careers of all time. Can I say that Penei Sewell is on his way? He's already one of the highest. I think he's the highest paid tackle in the NFL. He's got to be up there. Sticking with the offensive line theme, gosh, Max Unger had a great career. I was so upset and still am that the Seahawks traded him for Jimmy Graham. That was a horrible trade. Just a horrible trade for my Seahawks. Dan Fouts has to come to mind. Especially, it's not technically his NFL career, but, I'm pretty sure he's still a broadcaster for CBS. He's a really good one, too. Love listening to Dan Fouts. So, Penei, Fouts, Ngata, top 5 all time. Honestly, got to throw out my family friend, Mike Walter. He played in the league for like 10 years and won 3 Super Bowl rings. Not bad. Not bad. Herbert's also getting there. I mean, top 5 NFL. But see, the difficult thing is Herbert's career and Sewell's to an extent as well, not actually over. I'm curious where you guys go with this particular clue, because I think there are a lot of names that don't immediately pop into my head. I mean, Patrick Chung had a really, really good career. And it was a long one, and he was just a real good player. But yeah, Haloti Ngata's got to be first. So I feel like I'm missing one. Oh man, I gotta look up what Achilles Smith Jr.'s NFL stats were, because I don't that's not something I know off the top of my head. Let's see. Achilles Smith in the NFL. Nothing overly spectacular there, so probably not. Yeah, so you said 5. So I'll put Mike Walter in there. Not just because he's a family friend, but because he had a pretty great career. Haloti Ngata. A little bit of projection here, but I really think Justin Herbert and Penei Sewell are on track and have just got all the tools to do so many things right. There's going to be there's always a big name that I miss. And by the way, thinking of this stuff in real time is a lot harder than a lot of you think. You can keep giving me crap for it. Just know it's tough. It's tough. It's one thing when I'm watching Jeopardy at home. It's another to be on that stage and feel the bright lights. I got a bright light right there in front of me, making me look semi-presentable. So, yeah, Patrick Chung. I mean, LeGarrette Blount didn't have a half bad career. There's got to be. There's somebody I'm missing, man. There's somebody I mean, Thibodeau could go on to be great, but he's battled injuries a little bit at this point. So, yeah, let me go Walter and Ngata and Sewell and Herbert, even though it's projection. Patrick Chung had a really good one. Really, really good. That feels too small. Because I can't think of one and it's time to end the show, I'll go with Chung as my 5th one. But there's somebody out there. There's an obvious one I'm missing. Let me know who it is. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.